Hi everyone, welcome to this presentation. In this video, we will cover NCERT 7th Standard History Lesson 3, the Delhi Sultans. Earlier we have learned about the major dynasties between the 10th and 12th centuries. In this chapter, we will read about the dynasties that ruled Delhi between the 13th and mid-16th centuries. Although these dynasties were mainly Turkish in origin, we see a Persian influence in many things related to them, such as the building, architecture, language and religion. Have you ever wondered why our national capital is Delhi and not Kolkata, Chennai or Mumbai? Long ago, when the Indian subcontinent consisted of just kingdoms and empires, Delhi became an important center of trade. It was under the rule of the Delhi Sultanate that it became a capital city and then the capital of India as time went on. The Delhi Sultanate mainly consisted of 5 dynasties, including the Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Delhi Sultanate mainly consisted of 5 dynasties: Mamluk or slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Delhi was the capital city of these dynasties. Delhi Sultanate, major dynasties under Delhi Sultanate: slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. Easily you can remember this. S K T S L is slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty and Lodi dynasty. SKTSL. Today we will learn about the rulers and dynasties of Delhi Sultanate. Now let's see the topic, finding out about the Delhi Sultanate. We get to know more about the Delhi Sultanate through sources of information passed down to us through the ages. We have archaeological, literary and other sources such as coins, buildings, books, accounts of foreign travelers, paintings, etc. to help us know more about the Delhi Sultanate. We also have tarikhs. What is tarikhs means? History. These tarikhs are written accounts of scholars, administrators and poets of the court. So we have a lot of information or sources related to Sultanate period, archaeological, literary and other sources including coins, buildings, books, accounts of foreign travelers, paintings, etc. And we also have tarikhs. Tarikhs are written accounts of scholars, administrators and poets of the court. The authors of tarikh were learned men, secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers who both recounted events and advised rulers on governance, emphasizing the importance of just rule. They mainly wrote about events that were important to the Sultan. Since they wrote to please him and to get rewards, they avoided writing about anything that could upset the Sultan. Most of these men were rich and lived in the cities. They had no idea about the lives of common people in the villages. The authors of tarikhs were mainly wrote about to please Sultan. They avoided writing about anything that could upset the ruler. Most of these men were rich and they lived in cities, so they did not know more about the common people in the villages. Both Minhaj Siraj and Ziauddin Barani wrote about the sultans they served under at different times. Both their accounts help us to know more about the life of at that time. From garrison town to the empire. The expansion of Delhi Sultanate. Let's see. In the early 13th century, the control of Delhi sultans rarely went beyond heavily fortified towns occupied by garrisons. The sultans built towns surrounded by huge walls to fortify them and posted permanent troops of soldiers for protection. These towns were called garrison towns. Garrison towns means a fortified settlement with soldiers is known as garrison towns. So the Delhi sultans built towns surrounded by huge walls to fortify them and posted permanent troops of soldiers for protection. These towns are called garrison town, a fortified settlement with soldiers. The areas surrounding the garrison towns were not controlled by the sultan. Before 1300, the sultans of Delhi controlled only their garrison towns. The areas surrounding the garrison towns were not controlled by the sultan. The cities were totally dependent on these areas. These areas are called hinterland. What is hinterland? A land adjacent to a city that supply it with goods and services. Garrison town means a fortified settlement with soldiers. But earlier times sultans only controlled garrison town. They did not control hinterland. What is hinterland? A land adjacent to a city that supply it with goods and services. So the cities were totally dependent on these areas called hinterlands for their food and other items. For example, we get crops from farmers who grow them on the fields outside our cities. The Delhi Sultanate expanded vastly, including the rule of Balban, Alauddin Khilji, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The Delhi Sultanate expanded vastly under the rule of Balban, Alauddin Khilji, and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The Delhi Sultanate was strengthened in two ways. First, by gaining control over the hinterland. Then, by fortifying the boundaries of the towns. The Delhi Sultanate was strengthening in two ways. First, by gaining control over the hinterlands and by fortifying the boundaries of the town. To control the hinterlands, the sultans cleared the forest areas of the Ganga, Yamuna, Doab region. What do you mean by Doab region? Doab means, what is the meaning of Punjab? Punjab means land of 5 rivers. Same way this Doab means land of 2 rivers, that is Ganga and Yamuna. To control the hinterlands, the sultans cleared the forest areas of Ganga, Yamuna, Doab region. Doab means 2 rivers, that is Ganga and Yamuna region, and drove out the pastoralists who lived there. Military expeditions into southern India started during the reign of Alauddin Khilji. Sultan sent military under Delhi Sultanate. Military expedition to South India started first under Alauddin Khilji and culminated with Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Khilji after Tughlaq. So it started first with the Khilji ruler Alauddin Khilji and culminated with Tughlaq ruler Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Next video, we'll see the administration under the Khiljis and Tughlaqs.